I've got something special here, a 440 with a lower compression ratio. Why? Lower octane for the strict emissions in California.
But how much power will a low compression 440 make? We're going to find out on the Dyno. Nick's Garage is supported by Atlas Equipment and K-Tool International.
Hi, I'm Nick and welcome to my shop. This is an engine I built for Dan that belongs to a Kawasaki Challenger, a 1970 Challenger that he sent up from just outside of San Francisco, California. You know, it's going to be a partial restoration. He wants us to build the transmission, the engine, and of course paint the car and then put it all together. It's not going to be a full restoration, but a nice driver. But in the meantime, since the car is at the body shop getting done, they're doing metal work, paint work, I got a few pieces for it. I got the engine ready on the dynamometer. And this is the first time I build a lower compression 440. Why? Because he's only running the max 91 octane where he lives in California. And California has the strictest emission laws in the United States. I had a viewer once call me and he told me that he wanted to build an engine from California, bring it here. He also said that a lot of machine shops in the state of California have shut down because of regulations and emissions or whatever. And he wanted to send the engine up here for me to build it for him. And I told him why. Well, let me tell you an example. He says a lot of these old cars, when you're cruising down the boulevard, the police officers or inspectors or whatever they are called, they pull you over and they put this tube up the exhaust system on the back of your car to measure the carbon monoxide or the emissions. Imagine that. You don't pass, your car gets towed away. You know, this is going to really be something special because I've never built a 440 with a 9.3 compression ratio. Mine is a 10.2. I made 400 horsepower. And this is a 9.3 because I want to run on 91 octane. Meanwhile, my engine runs on 94 octane here up in Canada. But in California, in that state, very strict emissions, who knows? So I'm just curious to get it running and see what it can do. I got just a little bit over 400 on my Kawasaki with a 10.2 compression ratio. Here I got a 9.3. Flat top pistons, the same camshaft, the same valve job, cast iron intake with another 750 carburetor. It's a mild cam, a little bit higher spec than a 440 Magnum. It is a 4-barrel, it is not a 6-pack. With manifolds also, that's what he wanted, this is what I built. And this is the first time I've tried an old Chrysler rear oil seal on the crankshaft. I've had it for many years. It's not made by Felpro. It's not fast fish, nothing like that. It's just a simple Chrysler seal. I put it in. If it works, it works. If it doesn't work, well, what the hell? I'll try another one. But in the meantime, let me try it. I've had it for many years, and I put it in, and let's see how it goes.
But before Nick can find out just how much power this low compression California Kawasaki 440 can make, it's time to break in the cam.
I want to see the O2 sensor works. Check for fuel leaks. It looks good. I got my timing light. Of course, the moment I get it started, I want to run it for 20 minutes at 34, 36 degrees, just for the break-in period. Okay, let's get it started. No fuel leaks, O2 sensors on. I think I'm ready to go. Our water pump works. It's all good. I pumped it a few times. Okay. Ignition. Go. 20-minute break-in. So we're gonna finish it off at the time. It will be 4:40 this afternoon. So 4.440 time. Check it out. See the way it started? Like that. That's how you need to start the engine. You got to set the timing roughly 30, 35, 40 degrees. Make sure the carburetor has a lot of fuel. Pump it because it's a dry engine. And then turn the key and get it started and hit it to 2,000 RPM right away and hold it there for 20 minutes. And hopefully that's how the cam breaks in, of course, and it all goes well. After all, it is a flat tap hydraulic camshaft. It is a basic 440. That's how it came. I do not have the oil temperature hooked up, so don't look at that, you guys. Actually, I should disconnect it, so I won't give any false information. You know, I've built a lot of engines for a lot of clients. You know, most of these people that have these cars, they don't race them anymore. They go cruising with them. And that's my number one client nowadays. You know, they're all like into my age, which like I take my Kawasaki car, I go cruise with it. You know, we're looking for a decent amount of horsepower, not crazy horsepower. I do own a Hellcat with 700 horsepower. Sure, it's a great car to drive, but my 400 horsepower Kawasaki, just love it. We got good oil pressure, everything's good. No oil leak in the rear seal, great stuff. After all, I'm using a Chrysler rear seal, which I've had one in stock for over 20 years. I found this sitting on the shelf, so I said, you know what? Let me install it and see what happens with a factory retainer. And if I remember correctly, this engine, I don't know if the customer's done a line bore, which I don't think he has. And this engine has no line bore. This is the identical 440 engine to my Kawasaki, except my Kawasaki 440 has a 10.2 compression ratio. This one is a 9.3 compression ratio. The cylinder heads, these are the 906 castings, and the casting I got on my engine is a 452 castings. So that might make a little difference with the compression ratio. One way to find out, let's finish breaking the cam and then do some further testing and see how it goes. Oil pressure is good, vacuum is good, water coolant is at 170, fuel pressure is 5.6 pounds per square inch on the fuel line, and of course the battery voltage. Oil sump is not used. I'm sure the oil right now is about 200 degrees Fahrenheit, but it doesn't matter, I've gone through this many times. I got zinc oil, I got zinc additive, And of course, I also lubricated the cam before I installed it into the block. There's no reason anything should go wrong. I got the right amount of spring pressure. It's 120 pounds of spring pressure on the seat. Open valve is roughly 290 to 310. So we should be fine. The block is zero deck with flat top pistons. The chambers are 87 cc. And the head gasket is the 44 thou, not the 39 thou. It's got the 44 thou head gasket. I did not use the 39 thou because I wanted to bring it just under 9.5 compression ratio. So that's how we got our 9.3. And of course, you got a 6 cc for the valve reliefs in the pistons. That's a minus 6 cc. So that's how I calculate compression ratio. Oh, very simple math. How is that rear seal? So far, so good. Want to take a look? Let's take a look one more time. It's almost 20 minutes. Almost 20 minutes. Okay, it's 4:40 and time to shut it down and let it cool down. There we have it. So far, so good. I got no vibrations, no water leaks, no oil leaks. Timing will have to be set up again right now. And I hear no noises in the engine, sounds good. Got no rear seal leaking. So I'm glad. So I'm gonna let the oil cool down a bit, adjust the timing, check out the air fuel ratio, and let's see what's gonna make when we make a test. Let's see how it goes with a 9.3 compression ratio 440.
When Nick built his own 1970 Challenger RT, like the one from the film Vanishing Point, he found a worldwide community of like-minded individuals, each with their own passion for this iconic automobile. Now he's honored to help others like Dan realize their dream of owning and enjoying a piece of Mopar history.
We're just about to get it started. I'm just wondering what kind of horsepower we're going to make with this and what kind of torque radius I'm going to get. But you know what? Let me set the timing, the air fuel ratio, the idle, and let's take it from there. Let's go. we're gonna take it at 3,000 RPMs till 5,000 RPMs at 300 RPMs per second. Here we go. Let me just get it warmed up a little bit on the water. I want to bring it up to 170. Okay, here we go. Here, let's heat sink the block. Here we go.
The dyno operates using water pressure against an impeller to resist the power output of the engine. Nick adjusts the system to match the output of each engine he tests.
I switched it from 2,800 to 5,000. That's where we're going. I just want to make a change here. I'm going to try a lesser RPM, George. I'm just trying things. I'm going to try to bring the RPM to start at 2,600 RPM. I'm trying to get my load range, my servo working between 90 and 100%. So instead of adjusting the absorber, what I'm doing is I'm bringing down the RPM and start the RPM. So say the load test at 2,600 till 5,000. Here we go. Let's try it again. Okay, here we go. Let's see. Can't get it. We're gonna have to work with the absorber. Okay, let's try it again. So far so good, just checking everything. All right. Okay, dropping the compression. But we're still climbing, so we're gonna go a little bit higher than that. We're gonna go to 5,500 RPM. We pulled out a 362 horsepower. This engine had a factory rating of 375 horsepower with a 10.5 compression ratio in 1970. I've got a 9.3 compression ratio. Right now I got 362 horsepower. Let's try to see if we could gain that 375. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the RPM a little bit higher and let's go further testing and see how it goes. Oil pressure is good. Okay, we're going to run it again. Cool down the room, make another test, George. I'm going to bring up the RPM to 5,500 RPM right now. Okay, there it is. I'm going to go to 26 to 5,500. I'm ready. Here we go. Test number 2. Okay. Oh well, we're stuck at 366. Can we get that 375? I don't know. Let's keep trying. Maybe I should advance the timing just a bit. Let's cool down the water and see how it goes. It's telling me it's not going to go more than 5,500 RPM. Torque is about 460 foot-pounds of torque. You know, like I said, it's a low compression motor. This is the first time I built one of these. So far, so good. You know what? You know, even the factory ratings, you know, they said it was 375 horsepower with a 10.5 compression ratio. I've tested motors with the pistons they had from the factory and they got nowhere near 360. You know, they advertised at 375 horsepower, but I've built engines that had a 10.3 compression, real actual ratio of 10.3, 10.2, like my engine. I zero decked it. I brought the piston right to the top. I did a bowl blending work on it to put a mild cam and I got a 400 horsepower. Just to show you how far back they were. So, reality, from the factory, a 440 Magnum never made 375 horsepower, my opinion. Anyways, so these are good numbers from what I see. I'm trying to get the servo to work between 90 and 100%. I can't get it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the servo one more time. I'm going to adjust it. I'll give it what I can. Okay. And after that, maybe we'll play with the timing a little bit. I'm playing with the Elder Block 750 SafeM carb. I don't need anything bigger than that with vacuum secondaries. I'm not going with any spacers because this is the way it's going to be running on the car. So this is the way we're going to tune it. That's how we're going to work with it. I'm just going to maybe advance the timing a little bit. Cool down the room a bit. Look at the seal. You know, for all I know, he could maybe run this engine with a less octane than 91. He might be, maybe he could pass with an 89 octane. You know, the price of fuel today, 89 octane, 91 octane with what he's got here, I think it's going to be just perfect for you, Dan. Dan, I hope you like it. I'm going to make one more test. I advanced the timing 2 degrees and let's see how it goes. Here we go. getting there. We're getting there. Here we go. We're hitting the sweet spot very soon. You know, my goal is to get 375 horsepower of this one. So far, we're at 372. We're almost at factory rating. That's not bad. That's not bad. Here we go. Can we hit that sweet spot of 375? I'd love to see that. Carburetor is good. Oil pressure is good. We got a bit too much oil in there. Maybe I should drain some. You know, we're using factory rockers, factory push rods, and a simple valve spring. Like I tell people, you know, we do a basic 440s, which run great. You know, I spend a lot of money on adjustable rockers and so forth, you know. If you keep doing test after test after test, and you keep losing horsepower, you know that you wiped out a cam lobe. So far, so good. Like I said, you know, the most important thing is valve spring pressure, zinc oil, break it in, and get it started right away and run it for 20 minutes. You know, this motor makes at 5,000 RPM, it makes its maximum horsepower. So you don't have to rev it like crazy. Which is perfect for a cruiser. This is a perfect engine for a cruiser. Well, see that, eh? We lost about 25 horsepower with the compression ratio dropped. I have the identical engine. You know, the identical engine. And I got 400 out of mine. I've got almost 375 out of his. Mine versus 10.2 compression ratio versus his 9.3. There's two flavors of a 440. 10.2 compression ratio, cast iron heads, versus the 9.3 compression ratio, cast iron heads. The only difference is I've got the castings of a 452, which are late model 440, versus the original high performance 906 castings that existed from 68 till 1970, which are on this engine. They're both identical cylinder heads. Okay, the timing is at 37 degrees, I believe, and we're doing pretty good. Torque numbers are a lot higher. Look at this. I want to show you something here. I'm at 464 foot-pounds of torque at 27, but I can't hold it any less than that. So he's probably close to 480 foot-pounds of torque at a lesser RPM. It's too bad I cannot hold the dyno at a lesser RPM on the load so I could make my test. The smallest, I've set it at 2600. I got a reading at 27. You know, the most important thing is that the cam is broken in, it runs good, there's no leaks, and no vibrations, and no vacuum leaks whatsoever, and so far so good. I'm gonna run the coolant a little bit cooler just to see what it does. Okay, here we go. Are we ready? Here we go. Same horsepower. Okay. Okay. Didn't gain nothing. Same horsepower. So you know what? I'm just going to advance the timing 1 degree just for the fun of it. I see that we went in the right direction. We gained some horsepower and some torque. So let me just advance it 1 degree. Here we go, and then we take it from there. It seems that that old Chrysler rear seal that I've had from stock from many years ago, I had it sitting on the shelf for a long time, so I installed it on this 440, and so far So good. I wish I had more of those. Anyways, we work with what we have. Here we go. No, same thing. 373. That's it. I think we're almost there. We're almost there. But you know, we got more torque at a lower RPM, but I can't get my dyno to lock in at a less than 2700 RPM. There we go. So I think my torque numbers are like 470 to 480 at less than 2600 RPM, which I can't get it locked up on my dyno. Horsepower came in at 5000 RPMs. We got 373 horsepower, almost a factory rating of 375, and it's a less compression. What I've got here is great for a cruising engine, and this is what we're looking for. We got no vibrations, no oil leaks, no whatsoever vacuum leaks, and it's smooth. What more can you ask for? And it's ready for installation. So let's get that Kawasaki Challenger back into the shop after it's painted, and let's make it run. And then you'll be ready for your California Kawasaki Cruiser. And by the way, if you guys watched the movie Vanishing Point, the original film with Barry Newman, his goal was to go from Denver, Colorado to San Francisco, California. And this car, this engine, is going exactly there. And you guys, if you look down below the video, we have a whole bunch of merchandise that you guys can buy. So whatever you like, buy it, love it, wear it, and enjoy it. And help spread the word of Nick's Garage. And if you have some time, check out our Patreon page. We have extra content and you guys can watch it and take it from there. And we'll see you next time.